You know, in this hyper-connected world we live in, a good reputation can take years to build, but only seconds to tear down. A single tweet, a fake online review, that power is literally at everyone's fingertips. That's exactly why today we're going to break down the law of defamation. Think of it as the legal shield for your good name.
Just imagine this for a second. You wake up one morning, grab your phone, and see a completely made-up, horrible review about your business that's just tanking your ratings. Or maybe you see a nasty rumor about yourself spreading like wildfire on social media. It feels personal, it feels so unfair, and it can have very real consequences. Well, this is precisely where the law of defamation comes into play.
So at the very heart of all this is one thing: reputation. But we're not just talking about hurt feelings here. In the eyes of the law, your reputation is a real, tangible asset. It's how right-thinking members of society see you. It's your standing, both socially and professionally, and the law is very clear that it's worth protecting. Okay, so what's the actual legal tool you use to protect that asset? It's called defamation, and there's this classic legal definition that just nails it. Defamation is publishing a statement that hurts someone's reputation and makes reasonable people think less of them or maybe even avoid them altogether. So how does a court actually figure out if something is legally defamatory? I mean, it's not just about being offended, right? There's actually a very clear legal test, a 5-step checklist that anyone trying to bring a claim has to prove, step by step.
All right, here they are, the 5 crucial points. If you want to win a defamation case, you have to successfully tick every single one of these boxes. You need a defamatory statement. It's got to be about you. It has to be published. It must be false, and it has to have caused harm. Let's break each of those down.
First up, was the statement actually defamatory? Now, the key here is what's called the reasonable person test. This isn't about whether you felt your feelings were hurt. The real question is, would an average right-thinking person in society think less of you after hearing or reading that statement? That's the standard.
Second, the statement obviously has to be about the person suing. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to spell out your name. If there's enough information there, a description, a job title, a specific situation, that reasonable people would know, oh, they're talking about that person, well, that's enough to check this box.
Step 3 is publication. And honestly, it's a lot simpler than it sounds. In legal speak, publication just means the statement was shared with at least one other person. That could be a whisper to a coworker, a post seen by a single friend, or, a front-page article. As long as a third party heard it or saw it, it counts.
Now this next step, this one is a big deal. The statement has to be false. Why? Because truth is an absolute shield in defamation law. You could say something incredibly damaging about someone, but if what you're saying is substantially true, it is not defamation, period. So proving it's false is absolutely crucial.
And finally, step 5. There has to be actual harm to your reputation. The law is designed to protect your standing in the community, not just to soothe embarrassment or emotional distress. You have to show that the false statement actually caused, or was very likely to cause, real damage to how people see you. Okay, so we've run through the 5-point checklist. But defamation isn't just one single thing. It actually comes in 2 distinct forms. And the difference between them is really critical in the eyes of the law. We're talking about libel versus slander. Here's the main difference. Libel is defamation in a permanent form. So think written articles, social media posts, TV broadcasts, anything that sticks around. It's seen as more serious because it can spread so widely and last forever, so the law often just presumes damage was done. Slander, on the other hand, is temporary. It's spoken words or even gestures. For slander, you usually have to prove you suffered a specific, measurable loss because of it. But, and this is a big but, there are some major exceptions. For these 4 situations, spoken defamation, slander, is considered so damaging on its face that the law treats it just like libel. So if someone falsely accuses you of a serious crime or says something that hurts your professional reputation, you don't have to prove you lost a specific amount of money. The harm is just assumed. So far, we've pretty much focused on how to prove a defamation claim. But what if you're the one being accused? The law also provides some really powerful ways to defend what you said. So let's flip the script and look at the other side of the story.
There are 3 main defenses here. We've already met the biggest one, truth. If it's true, you're usually in the clear. The second is fair comment or honest opinion, which protects your right to express your opinion on something of public interest, as long as it's based on facts. And finally, there's privilege, which protects statements made in special situations, like in a courtroom or in Parliament, where open speech is essential.
All right, so let's say you've gone through the whole checklist. You've proven your case and you've overcome all the defenses. What happens then? What are the actual remedies for a damaged reputation?
A successful case can lead to a few different outcomes. The most common is damages. That's money to compensate for the harm done. A court might also issue an injunction, which is basically an order telling the other person to stop repeating the statement. And finally, a court can order a retraction and an apology to help set the record straight and restore your good name.
And to be clear, the consequences can be pretty serious. A court in Kenya, for example, might award something in the ballpark of 2 million shillings, just in general damages to compensate for the harm to someone's reputation. It's a powerful reminder that false words can have a very, very real cost.
And that really brings us to our final thought for today. As we all try to navigate this world of Yelp reviews, Twitter threads, and instant online comments, the line between protected free speech and unlawful defamation seems to get more complicated every day. The law gives us a framework for sure, but that question of where exactly that line is drawn, well, that's something we all have to think about every single time we post, share, or speak.